See here. So hello, everybody, and thank you for coming to our Orange County CUE TechFest 2021. We're so thrilled that everybody's here. We're really thrilled with the turnout with over 300 and almost 350 people here. So yay. All the money is folded back into the community in our grant. So we encourage you to apply for a $500 grant in the fall. And definitely join us at our affiliate meeting at Spring CUE. My name is Stacey Klein. I'm the Orange County CUE Board Secretary, and I'm a teacher in Santa Ana Unified. And I'm so excited to introduce our incredible speaker, Leticia Citizen. She is an incredible resource, but also I'm so proud to know her as an advocate for students and a big voice on Twitter. And I encourage you to follow her. She is amazing.
Oh, thanks, Stacey. Oh, so nice. So yes, I'm so happy that you all are here. I want to not only give us time to see all the ways that you can use Wakelet, but I also want to give you time to like set up if you've never used Wakelet before, if you want to, it's a free platform to use. I do know that it is, 13 and up, and I'll show you ways that you can use it with students who are younger than 13. So Wakelet has done a great job of still allowing our younger students to be collaborators on Wakelet. And so we'll actually take a look at that. And then hopefully, I know like today's schedule is kind of crazy, that you'll have time to like experiment as well with some of the ideas that we'll go through today. I've placed the bit.ly link in the chat, so that way you can access that easily. Just an FYI, bit.ly links are case sensitive, so the 2 W's are capital letters. And so I'm going to go ahead and whiten this up. This is collaborative, so it would be helpful if you go ahead and join that bit.ly. You'll notice that at the moment, my Wakelet is set up so that way it's linear. So as we go through this, I'll move up my side, and then if you're on the Wakelet on your end, you can just move it up on your own. So we start off with the welcome. There is a form if you would go ahead and fill that out. So items are clickable here on the Wakelet. If you click that welcome link, then it will send you into a Google form. I love to like not only know who's in this space and who's joining, but also have an opportunity to share with you resources that I'll send you through an email. So I'll give you time to fill that out. And as you're doing that, I also love to just check in with our teachers, check in with educators who are joining. So I've created a Wakelet check-in. If you click that, then it will bring you, takes a while, okay. So it brings you to this space, and I'm asking you who's in this space, what's filling your bucket, and what's draining your bucket. And so to do so, here's your first opportunity to really engage with Wakelet if you've never used it before. And this is set up so that way you don't need an account right now, okay? So to add a post to this Wakelet, click that edit collection green button that's at the top. When you do so, the space will change and it will become a space where you can edit. You're gonna click that green button, the green plus sign, sorry. So once you click that green plus sign, if you are not signed up with your account on Wakelet, your options to add will look very different. Okay, in that, I guess I should go ahead and show you what that will look like. So I'm going to go to one of my accounts that I don't have.
And Leticia, for which presentation are you attending? Should we choose Wakelet one place to put them all?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Thank you for checking with that. All right, so I'm actually going to take that same link, the welcome link. And so again, this is the view of your students who are under 13 that don't have an account. This is also the view if you have not created an account yet with Wakelet. All right, so this is like your first engagement with it. So what it does is it says, all right, you have anonymous board, but you can go ahead and change your name, put your name there, and then click add. And I've actually been using this with, I'm an I4 coach, and I know I haven't introduced myself yet, and that's part of the process. But I'm an I4 coach at Hawthorne School and Beverly Hills Unified School District. And the 4 I's that we focus on are innovation, instruction, individualization, and inspiration. I have to tell you, like, this is my 3rd year in that position, and I only have learned all the 4 I's now because I've been presenting virtually since March. And so, like, I've got the 4 I's, but beforehand I would always miss a couple of them. But part of what I do is not only work one-on-one with teachers and support them and provide PPE that way, but I actually, this school year, because we are teaching virtually, I visit every classroom every 2 weeks for 45 minutes to teach digital citizenship. And so going into the classrooms, it's really fun because now I get to engage with all the students. I get to do all these different check-ins and different activities. And so for the month of January, I've been trying Wakelet with the students, which has been really exciting. And so far I've used it with 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade because our 3rd through 12th graders are on Dell laptops. So it makes it a lot easier to maneuver Wakelet, whereas our K2 are on tablets. So I haven't tried it yet with them, but I'm hoping that I'm going to try it next month with them. So students don't have an account, I give them that shareable link, and I'll show you what link you want to give them. But they're going to click action. You're going to scroll down and you're going to click the plus sign. So here's where I want to show you the difference of those who have an account and then those who don't. So as someone who has an account, you'll see that I have more options of things that I can add to a Wakelet. Whereas with a student who's just set as a collaborator, a contributor, and does not have an account, they have a few less things, right? So they're just going to focus on, is there a way to monitor? Good question, Anne. No, there is no moderation. So when, and I know thinking about like middle and high school, right? What that would look like. I'll say that like when I'm walking the students through it, I'm actually like in the editing version and I'm like just in case. But no, there's no moderation in terms of like on Flipgrid, right? You can set it so that way you see all the responses beforehand. That's not an option, but that's pretty cool. So I'll send that to Wakelet. If you want to also send them an email, they're really good about listening to feedback. So you'll notice that the options are different. So in order to add to this space, you're just going to go ahead and click add text. And for now, like when I just did this like a similar Wakelet with my students this past week and the week before, I only had them adding text. I said, we'll have another chance to add like other things later, but for our purpose today, you were only adding text. So you'll start typing, right? You'll add your response. You'll see that you have some options here, right? They keep it very simple. So that way the students are not focusing on, oh, I got to change my font. Oh, I got to go do this. Like, it keeps it very simple. You got bold, italicized, underline. You've got 2 different types of headings that you have here. You can add little bullets, which I love to use when I'm taking notes using Wakelet. I can center it. I can even add a link if I wanted to. And so then once you're done adding your information, you click done. You come to the top and click done. And then your information that you shared is there for everyone to see. So that's like the first way. So again, it's they add their name, you click edit collection, you click the plus sign, you choose what option you want. For this purpose, you're just doing edit text. They type it up. Once they're finished, they click done. And then my window's messed up, but there's another done up here. So that's like your first, if you've never used Wakelet before, I love to just do that like right at the beginning of my presentation. 1, to check in with everyone and see how you're doing. And then 2, just so that way you get to experience what Wakelet, what it looks like from the perspective of someone who does not have an account and can still be a collaborator in that space. So I see that people are being filled with sweet love of friends, sending notes through snail mail. Ooh, I like that idea. Spending time with OCCUE, yes. Oh, yeah, I've learned that a lot of you are going back face to face. Prayers to all of you that are doing that. Whoa, in Louisiana. Very cool. So thank you for sharing that. So as you continue to do that, I'll go ahead and introduce myself. Again, Leticia Citizen, I'm an I-4 coach, principal at Beverly Hills Unified School District. This is my 21st year as an educator, my third year out of the classroom, but I am working with students from TK through 5, where I visit their classrooms every 2 weeks to deliver digital citizenship for 45 minutes, which has been really awesome. I am an ambassador for quite a few tech platforms. One, because I feel like they do a great job of allowing our students and our teachers to be creative and amplify our voices in a variety of ways. And then two, these platforms do a good job, like Wakelet, of listening to feedback, not only from teachers, but also from students. So again, who was it that said, Anne, asking about like monitoring responses from students. I would advise you to go ahead and like send them a note, and I'll also do that because they're really good about listening to how they can enhance their platform in order for our students and teachers to be able to create and engage and collaborate in a safe, responsible, and respectful way. All right, so here we go. We're going to look at some ways that you can use Wakelet. I'll also show you some resources, and I want to give you time to like play around with it. I know you've had your first round of it, but I want to give you a little bit more time to just click on stuff and ask questions. Also, if you have questions too, like go ahead and put them in the chat, and you can also unmute yourselves. I love the engagement. Thank you also for having your cameras on. This is like one of very few conferences that I've come to and people have their cameras on. I've been presenting quite a bit, and most of the time it's a black screen. So that's always fine. I always have to go for like 5 different and be like, just turn your camera on, please, so I can like at least look at you. So thank you for doing that. All right, the first thing I want to show you is how Wakelet has an extension that will allow you to save links and sites like on a whim. So yes, definitely, you could come up here and bookmark things, right? It's there. But here's the thing. What if I want to like group them in a certain way? Or as you're going through, I know for me, I actually had to like save all my tabs because I've had like 50 plus of them up, and I was like, that's not going to help while I'm presenting. So because of Wakelet, I've actually been able to organize my life a lot more in terms of like the tabs that I'm using. So here's how it works. You'll notice if you are looking at my share screen, you'll notice that I have this blue W that's in my extensions bar. That's the Wakelet extension. Okay, so if you don't do anything else during this whole conference, add the Wakelet extension to your toolbar. So here's what happens. So let's say, I don't know, I'm huge with working with primary sources. And as I'm going through, I find a link and I'm like, oh yeah, these have great resources. Awesome. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click this W. And what that extension does is it brings all of my Wakelet collections to this window that's here. Okay. So these are like some of the ones that I've created so far. You'll notice that there's some over here. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but I have access to all of my Wakelet collections. And let's say, I'm inspired to, maybe I haven't created that collection yet and now I want a new one. Well, I have the option here to also create a new collection. So that's what they're called in Wakelet. Think of them as like your folders on your drive. That's Wakelet has collections. Okay, so I can go ahead and take this link. Let's see, I have one that says primary sources. Maybe I'll just do let's check out. So what it does is it brings in a quick image that it like finds on the web page, it takes the title that's there. You know, I have a little blurb. I can even edit this if I wanted to make it fit my needs. And I'm like, okay, now I want to save it. I'm going to click save. And now it's saved into my collection. Okay. So I could do that. I could even go to YouTube and do the same thing. Any site that I go to, I can go ahead and just like click the Wakelet extension and it saves. Here's another cool thing for those of you that are on Twitter. If there is a hashtag that I want to follow or there's a tweet that I want, you'll notice there's a W here. If I hover over it, I can also, same thing, send that tweet to a collection that I have on Wakelet. Okay, so Wakelet is really about like allowing us to save time, already add them into collections. I showed you earlier that I'm taking notes. And this is what I use now as my tool whenever I go to conferences to take my notes, because then I not only have them for myself, but I can share them with my teachers. But let's say when we're in person, right? And I'm like going through and I'm taking my notes, but then there's a picture, there's a slide that's being shared when we're in 3D. Well, I can take that picture on my phone, and then you can also add the Wakelet, let me find it, the Wakelet app to your phone. Okay, so I also have it on my phone. So when let's say I'm gonna take a picture of the screen. Okay, so now I've taken a picture of my screen, but I want to fit to the notes that I've been taking on my computer while I'm going through my session in 3D. So Wakelet becomes one of your options on your phone that I can send it to. Since we haven't been in person for a long time, haven't done it. So here it is. Wakelet's my option. I click it. And again, it's going to find, can you all see it? That's kind of, I should have looked it up, but it's going to find, so right now it's still searching, but it's searching all of mine. It's going to do the exact same thing, bring in all of my collections and ask me, where do I want to send that picture? And then it happens in real time. So as I'm typing, it'll pop up and it always puts it at the top of your collection. But the cool thing is when I'm editing, I can move my stuff around. So I can move my posts that I've added to my collection in any order I want to. So again, when I'm in 3D, I'm taking my notes, I'm taking pictures or whatever, I can go ahead and just send them from my phone. It comes onto my screen right at the top and I can move it to wherever I want while I'm taking notes. Also, like if they're sharing video, right? And they're sharing those links, I can quickly, so I showed you earlier how, as a collaborator, what options you have, but these are the options that you have just as if you have an account with Wakelet. I can bring in a URL, I can add my text. YouTube video is awesome to just bring in. So when people are sharing videos, I hurry up and I click on YouTube. I can search by title, I can search by link, and it brings it in. So let's see, Amanda, we just had Amanda Gordon, okay? Yeah, that's what her name is. Right, I could bring in this video and it brings it right there for me to access. I can also do tweets. I can search by hashtag. So what today is OCCUE. And it usually, see, it tells me, it automatically shows me the first 50 and I can tell it to select all of those and then I can bring it into my Wakelet. So this is a way that you can do Twitter chats. Like if you're part of a Twitter chat and you want, like someone missed it and you're like, hey, here, you can access them all here. You can put them on a Wakelet to do that as well. You can bring in images. This bookmark. So anytime you create a collection in Wakelet and you add something to your collection, you add a post to your collection, it automatically becomes part of your Wakelet bookmarks. So then I can click on bookmarks and it like tells me all the ones I have because maybe I want to bring in a bookmark from another Wakelet that I have into this new collection. Let's see what else. You can upload a PDF. You can connect it to your Google Drive if you have OneDrive. And then now you can also bring in Flipgrid videos. So you can do shorts. So let's say you're setting up, I don't know, a hyperdoc or a lesson plan for your students. And the first thing you put on there is a Flipgrid video that you made to like, to greet them and have them, set up the scene for what they're gonna do for the rest of the Wakelet. So you have all those beautiful options. Again, just using the Wakelet extension, using it on your phone, also from Twitter, has been a game changer for me personally. And then I've also included some quick videos or GIFs or GIFs, however you pronounce it, we're not gonna get into that, by Brad Dow, who's a good friend of mine, that he allowed me to put his there. So you can check those out where it walks you through and shows you how you can do it. Any questions so far? Let's see, is Facebook connected? No, Facebook is not connected, Amy, at this time. Oh, yay, Pamela, so good to hear. All right, yeah, you know what, Anne, I found it, like, no dig on Google at all, but I found it to be a lot easier for me to do it on a Wakelet versus on a Google Keep. I have to agree with you on that one. All right, so another way that I, as a coach, love to, and again, you can like change this to fit the needs of the position that you're in, but I created a space for my teachers for virtual summer. All right, so again, you saw those different ways that you can bring in information, but it's definitely such a great curation tool. So this summer, right, we're in a season in our lives where things were closed down, and I thought, all right, how do I still like not overwhelm my teachers in a way that says like, oh, you have to go here, but give them a safe space that they can just go venture into, take a look at opportunities. Again, because I am an ambassador and trainer for many platforms, and I also do like my own personal learning where I'm like doing things with Gilder Learman and I'm doing things with NEH. I'm always receiving links to like PD opportunities, whether most of them are free, but if there is a small payment for it. But I decided, you know what, hey, why don't I just use Wakelet, divide up these opportunities by month, and then put it all in one place for the teachers and share it. We have a Google website, or no, a Google Classroom that teachers could access, and then they could take a look at these things and join if they want to. So this right here is where I actually put Wakelets inside of a Wakelet, right? We call it a Wakelet tidal wave. And so what teachers would do is go ahead and click on the June 2020 PDs. Good question, Kimberly. So does it message members when something is added to a Wakelet? Wakelet recently added notifications. And so if you are following certain collections, you will receive a notification in your Wakelet account. So you'll see that it's here. And then there's these settings that then you can determine if you want to receive like email notifications. So you have the ability to control all of that. So yes, if you have, you've set up your own collaborative collections, anytime someone adds to that, you'll get a notification. If there's some that you're following, then you'll receive a notification for that. Like when the students were adding, right here, you'll see it told me that like the students were adding to the collection that we did. This was something I did with them for Keep, Stop, Start. So I wanted to do like a check-in. We were mid-year, and I wanted to know, what did they want to keep about our digital citizenship class? What did they want to stop? And then what did they want to start? And so as each of them were adding to it, it like gave me a notification and let me know. Yep, so that's definitely there. All right, let's go back. So for the summer PD, again, teachers could click on it. Now, the cool thing about Wakelet is that when you are adding posts, you do have 4 different ways that you can set up your layout, right? One that we're working with, the main one, that's the linear one, where it's just in line. You'll notice that the PD one looks more like a Pinterest board. And again, you set it up so that way it fits the needs of that particular collection. So this one I just wanted to set up so that way teachers could just see there's all these different opportunities. They could just click on it and then go ahead and go straight to that PD that they wanted to attend. And these were like all outside PDs, okay? I also included a reflection form. So that way, I wanted to just know like if teachers were attending or not. And all it did was just, ask their name and then tell me the session. And there's a couple of things there that they just fill out, just so I knew what was going on and then share with our admin. And then also teachers, as they were also getting any information about PDs, they would go ahead and send me the link and I would add it to the collection. So I wanted, because I did bring up about layout, you'll see that, again, because I'm the author of this collection, I can go to change layout. And so here are my different options. You've got media view, which is the view that we have for this one. You have compact view, where here I'll give you, so that way, so it just makes it smaller. You've got grid view where it puts it side by side. I love to use this for choice boards, and I'll show you what that looks like. And then the mood board, which is like the Pinterest board. So again, just deciding, you make that decision, like what purpose does your collection serve, and then you can decide what layout you want. So again, using this for PD opportunities, setting up these different Wakelets and then putting them inside another Wakelet as like the houser of all of it. I even included recorded webinars for teachers to access. Let's see. How do you create the balance to your themes as you create? Good question, Kimberly. So when you, so I'll actually, let's do this. Okay, so start a new collection, here it is. So you have two places that you can put images to set it up initially. You have your cover image. Now you have the option of uploading your own image, which I love to use Buncee. So that's where you see these animated things. I created them in Buncee, buncee.com. What's cool about Buncee, because then now they have like a partnership with Wakelet. Now they actually have a whole like layout. You can change your layout. So that way it's to the Wakelet dimensions, all right? So, I don't know why it's going so slow. I just want to show you very quickly. So right here, I can resize my canvas. When you come down to custom, it actually has Wakelet cover image and Wakelet profile header. So because now they have this partnership, you can easily like type in those dimensions. 1440. And this will actually be the size for this part right here, okay? So I can, again, bring in my own image. Now to make it animated, I actually use an extension to do that, okay? So I actually use Chrome Capture to then use that because Buncee's, you cannot, when you download it, you can't keep it doesn't maintain the animation. So I have to use the Chrome Capture to select the screen, the part of the screen that I want, and then download it as a GIF. And then I can add those to my Wakelet. Or you can choose from their library. They use Unsplash. So usually I use these, like depending on the colors that I have, like when I created this, actually I use Buncee to make that background one. But there are some that when I created, like this one, I just took a screenshot of the OCCUE one, added that, and then for the background, I just used their Splash, and I just typed in orange, and then it gives me those options. So that's the partnership that Wakelet has with Unsplash. So you have options. And again, then for the background one, I'm going to come here and add a background. I can upload my own or choose from the library. There's a way to create, yes, digital portfolios, Danielle, that's like a big thing. And for students who are 13 and over, they do newly released student ambassador program that they have. So they have I've actually added it to the resources at the bottom, but students, there are like, I believe 6 different like activities, student ambassador. There's like, here it is. There's like 6 different activities, I believe, that they have to complete, and then they get their badge as a student ambassador. But part of it is creating a digital portfolio, because they know that students can use this for college and like creating their own businesses. So definitely check that out if you have students who are 13 and over. That's a new program that they just released. All right. Let's see. Okay. All right, so using it for PD. I also use it for newsletters. Again, because I am a coach, I create a newsletter once a week for my teachers, but every month I use a different platform to house that newsletter. So one month I'll use Wakelet for September, I'll use Wakelet as my newsletter. These are great for parent newsletters, for student newsletters. You can set it up however you want. Wakelet did just, and again, it'll be down at the bottom for your resources, but Wakelet did just come out with a template website. And so one of those options is newsletters. But what I do is I always try to focus on 3 things for teachers. So I try to like do a classroom activity. And again, I can bring in my images, bring in my text. You can hyperlink information so that way teachers can click on it. So I try to do like a classroom activity, something connected to a platform that we purchase in our district, and then always a PD opportunity for them. And then I also connected to, giving them access to me so that way we can collaborate. And it's just a linear setup. Again, there are templates now, and so I'll show you where that is, but just another way, real quick way to house those newsletters for teachers, for parents, for students. Are able to link a Google slide deck for parents. Yep, Pamela, you can definitely do that as well. Where because there's an option to connect to your Google Drive, you can bring in docs, slides, sheet, whatever from your Google Drive and put it right here for parents and students or whoever to access. So definitely check that out. I've already shown you how I use them for my conference notes when I'm going. We've already kind of looked at that. Choice boards, another creative way. So here's one that I created for using Wonderopolis. So here's one way that I make my choice board. Again, everything is housed here. My students don't have to go anywhere outside. These are all clickable for them to access. The directions are here. Oh, here's another thing I haven't pointed out yet. Accessibility, hello, they are now tied in with Immersive Reader. So you'll notice this little book with the microphone. If you click on that, so anywhere there's text, the Immersive Reader captures it on Wakelet, and it's going to bring all the words here. If you are not familiar with Immersive Reader is now, they're partnering with everything. Bunsy, Wonderlist on their website, Wakelet, Nearpod has it now. So any text slides that you do, that when the students are going through the Nearpod, they can click on Immersive Reader. So what it does is it actually
Explore
reads
Wonderopolis website. Visit the Wonderopolis website
to the students. Now here, doesn't stop there, okay? So you can do voice settings. They can change the speed. It has a rabbit and a turtle. They can change between 2 voice selections, okay? Now you've got, and this is all done on the reader's end, so you don't have to do anything as a teacher. They can change the text preference. Maybe they want to increase the size of the text. You can decide if you want spacing in there. There's 3 font size at the moment from the reader to choose from. There are different, so like maybe they have limitations with certain colors that appeal to, or for their order to read. They've even got more color options. The next thing is grammar. Maybe in class you're focusing on nouns, right? And you can determine what color you want the nouns to be. You've got verbs, adjectives. You can even show where there's syllables. And line focus. Maybe they want to focus on one line at a time, or they want to chunk it. Let's see, the picture dictionary. There are certain words that if you click on, there's that little dictionary there. And there's tons of languages that you can change it to. And they're adding the language, like, I don't know, like they're doing it like just all the time. So you'll notice now it's in a different language. 10-minute warning, damn it. Okay, oh, sorry. So
Leticia, would you like me to read any of the questions from the chat, or are you already on
yeah,
that?
I think I'm trying to like keep up. Let's see.
I thought you were, and then
yeah, let's see. Wakelet doesn't have to Google Classroom Aries, right?
Yeah.
So it talks to Google Classroom in that when I want to share this collection, I can share the collection directly to Google Classroom. You also have Teams, send it to Twitter. You have these options here. You can also export it as a PDF. So just in case like internet does what internet does and you're like trying to present, you have the PDF option. You can embed this onto a website. So I love embedded in my collections on my coaching website. Let's see, tell us how that bypass the HU. Okay, good question, Kimberly. Let me go ahead and do that since we're running out of time. So let's say, let's go back to, where's the one that I did with the kids? Let me show you the one. All right, so here's one. I've set up my collection, right? And I want students who are under 13 to have access to this. What you're going to do is you're going to click invite. And then you have a couple of options. You can copy the link and like share that link on Google Classroom. So that's what I did. I put it in an Nearpod. So I was doing Nearpod with them and I did web content and I just put the link in there. You can put it on Google, but you can put it on Seesaw, whatever platform you're using for students to go ahead and access things, you can share the link with them. You also have this QR code, or you can do the copy code. For our students, it's just a lot easier to just copy the link, okay? You can also have the option of if you are sharing with like other Wakelet users, then you can search by their name or put their email. But again, for students who are under 13, copy this link and then share it on the platform where they're going to access it. Once they do that, the directions for how they, and I want to show you. So earlier when we did the Wakelet check-in, the directions for how they're going to join it are here, okay? So again, once the student, and I'll show you what it looks like so that way you see it from their end. It recognizes that I've already done it. Okay, let me get another one of my, I have too many Wakelet or Google accounts. Okay, here we go. So when you give the students, no, what do you mean? You guys get to see this all in real time. Let's try again. Step 2, take 2. There we go. Be nice. Okay, so when the students click the link, they're going to have to put their name, right? So student name, they click add. It'll bring them to that space. And so the first step for the students, and again, you tell them not to focus on this part, because you know you'll have those students that even though you tell them directions, they'll still go and click this. But all they're going to do is click edit collection. Depending on what you want them to do, for this one, for the sake of just answering, they're just going to click add text. Go ahead and type what they're going to type and add. Then they need to make sure that they click done, because if they don't, then their words are not going to be there later. And so, of course, I had students this week that were like, I typed it and said it's and I promise, and it's not there. And I'm like, did you click done? And they're like, no. So click done, and then they have to click done again. Okay. So that's one way for students to be collaborators. The second way is that you can have students create their own mini collection. All right, and so how that works is the same thing again. You're going to still give them that contributor link. They're going to join by name and click add. They're going to click edit collection. Okay, but here you'll notice that it says create collection. This create collection option is only visible for participants who do not have a Wakelet account. So if you have a Wakelet account and then you are a collaborator on someone's collection, you still won't have this option. This is only so that way students who are 13 and under and those who don't have accounts have that option. And when they have that option, it's like they're making their own collection inside of your collection, but they just have a few, they have a limited options. It's not connected to their Drive. There's something else about but they can still bring in images, they can bring in links, they can bring in text, right? And why would you have them do mini collections? I'll show you why. So at the bottom, let's see, it's one of our tools. Here it is, sub collections. That's what it's called. And here's one example. Now here's a teacher, Joe Merrill, if you're not familiar with him, he's amazing. He actually has a book with his wife right now that they're all about the interactive classroom. They each teach a different grade and their classes collaborate a lot of times. Yeah. So for this Wakelet collection, the teacher set it up with this picture, wrote this math problem here, and then you'll notice that each of these images is an added sub-collection that the students created. So because they're under 13, they didn't have an account, but they were added as a contributor, they chose the option of mini collection, and here's what they're able to do. So they've got their mini collection, and then because now the class can see each other's work. And so in the mini collection, they still get to set up that picture at the top, they get to make that choice, they get to title it, and then they get to add things. So he added text and he added images here. And so that's the point of still allowing students to still have their own little mini collections. So that way they can add things more than just text, but they can do so safely without having an account. Let's see, can you delete comments that might not be done appropriately? Yes. So Stacy, so that's what I do. When my students are adding to that collaborative space and I'm watching, I always click edit collection. And let's say you get this student who's still trying to figure it out. So their name might pop up tons of times and it just says there's no comment, right? Well, I can go through, you'll notice that because this is my collection, I'm the author of it, I have the option to edit, so I can still add to their text, or I can go ahead and delete it. So if you get that inappropriate comment and you're watching, you can delete it right away. But I can go through and scroll because I'm the one who created that collection. So that's another good thing too about them not having an account, and you can only set up the spaces for them to collaborate on. How about Flipgrid links? Are they able to link their videos in there too? As collaborator, let's check it out. Oh, yes, because I'm in here as a collaborator. They can bring in video. But let me think about that. Your question is if the students can. So what the students would have to do is they won't use, okay, that's what it is. They won't use this option because you just saw I had to link it. I had to like sign in. They would have to, you know, at the end after they do their video, it gives them the option of like copy their link or download their video. They can go ahead and do paste URL. I had to think about that one. That's what it was.
Leticia, are you a Wakelet ambassador now? Did you go through that program?
Yes, I did.
Outstanding. Yeah. I liked how I dropped one of my favorite Wakelets in the chat. Oh yeah, the girl. In Global GEG, we just recently
A helpful Honda guy.
Helpful OCCUE